Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for thanks for coming back. We'll get
Ken,
started here
welcome
in
back
one
to you,
second.
by the way.
We will get here. We'll get started. You guys can tell we have a rowdy crowd.
Got a rowdy bunch.
That's been underused over time because that was one of the hardest I've ever met in my life.
And thank you so very much for being with us on a Tuesday night in show 2 of our tribute to Tuesday nights in basements all across America. On behalf of First Amendment Sports, I'm Ken Marangolo. He's Tim Strachan.
Well, it's show 1 for some of us. That
That's
was a
not
good
true.
show. I enjoyed it. You guys did a fantastic job.
You were part of the show.
I had commented you didn't want me on it because all I was going to do is say one thing over and over and over and over again. So it was best I wasn't on there.
I wonder what that would have been.
Chase Young at number 2.
He's Kevin Ricca.
Just repetitively.
Hey, man, I was hoping I did it enough, or also hoping I didn't do it too much, but it's just hard not to. It's hard not to. That's all. That's all it is. But you know what else? It's hard not to look forward to getting to do this after everything that's going on right now. Everyone has it way worse than us, but it's fun to have a little Tuesday night to get together with the boys with the phone to the ear. Ken, I appreciate you hooking this up, my brother.
Yeah, we have the technology, thankfully. We got Greg, AGH, and Eric Anderson back in. Nasta to all of you, and we appreciate. Hopefully, I gotta believe we'll see Rhett from across the street wander on over into the chat room. Again, I'm Ken Marangolo. This is our DC mess around. Typically, a time when we like to just kick around
Cheers.
all of the. Well, cheers, Eric Anderson. Kick around all of the topics of the day, except for one, maybe 2 days a year. There's sports on. I think it's the day before and after, or the day after the Major League All-Star game. Is definitely one of them. I think the day before, right? Like no other game is on TV.
The ESPYs.
Boo. But I
Home
understand
run
what you're saying.
derby.
What's that?
Home run derby, but that's I like the home run derby. The ESPYs is the one. Yeah, it's bad.
But no result. The day after is definitely a dark day. It's completely dead. There's nothing on. It's. I mean, it was the only thing I thought about the day before this really all went down. When you still had a European soccer game or God knows what was on some, the million channels we have up until all of a sudden when there was zero, it was the day after the Major League All-Star game. I just kept thinking about that day and how terrible that day always was. Like catch up on sleep, maybe do some chores. I mean, you could do a lot on that day. That was the day. That's been every day for the last two weeks and however many days. I mean, T, how are you holding up?
Yeah, I'm hanging in there. I've conditioned myself for this for a long time.
You've been training.
I'm hunkered down, man. I'm doing my best. These days aren't really all that bad, to be honest with you. I don't think it's terrible. Work, kids' schoolwork takes up a big chunk of the day. And you try to figure out something fun to do. My kids put together an entire carnival for me and my wife the other day. It was pretty awesome.
So that was one day, but there's like 20 others. I mean, was there a carnival every single day?
Yeah, but it's a new thing. It's a new challenge every day.
Yeah, that's true. It absolutely is
something new that's fun and exciting and engaging.
And you got
again,
Lukey.
When you have a 1-year-old running around too, that always keeps things pretty interesting.
It's a castle to him. I mean, he's got the run of the place, and he's got everyone in the house with him. That's kind of huge. Like he's gonna grow up for a period of time and have nothing but his siblings and his parents around him.
This is normal to him, man. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, he thinks I'm home every day, like forever.
It's kind of cool. I mean, there's some pros to this, although.
We're looking at the bright side over here on Colchester for sure.
Yo, man,
Kevin.
I'm still trying to get introduced over here. I'm standing in the rain outside, just trying to be quiet. But you know what? I'm here.
I want to know. I mean, I was gonna say, is it so rosy over there? I mean, you're like you're running a full on school and I think and church at your house these days.
Well, I'm not certain about either, or me running anything. To be fair, my biggest goal of the day is to not get caught in my underwear drinking milk straight from the gallon in front of the fridge. If I can sneak up and do that and get out unscathed, I mean that's like 2 hours of success right
Huge
there,
win.
competitively.
That's a huge win.
You own underwear? I didn't know that.
You don't really
Yeah,
own
I
it.
started wearing underwear after high school, right before college.
You can only rent
Did you?
underwear.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You're
Learn new things every day.
Hey, Keegan
I mean,
Tier.
I'll always wear it. I don't know if that's the deal here, but
I mean, we don't have a deal. There's no deal. If anyone's watching and they think there's some kind of deal, there's no deal. No deal. No underwear deal. No one signed anything. But
that was my wife. She grabbed the phone real quick to prank me. Sorry. What were you guys saying?
It's so. I mean, I went to Safeway last night to do like our once a week, if possible, maximum once a week trip to the store, and a couple of things. First of all, I heard like every song. It's weird, like when a store's full of people, the music's kind of background music, but when it's like 3 or 4 people in the middle of an empty store with nothing on the shelves, and the music was amazing. So Safeway in Kensington midnight music, like playlist, which I never had heard before, was on point. Secondly, like the thing, like the shelves, the grocery stores at midnight are like a huge testament to like all the brands of like that have just hung in there. We don't we've never heard their names before. We've never bought anything that they've made before. But I'm like my cabinet is like the United Nations of brands that I never heard or seen before in my life. Because like there's no main brand things left on any shelves. You're buying the generic or Lufthansa or whatever, like some random name of peanut butter or hot chocolate mix.
Ken,
It's amazing.
can I just say that
Please.
anything that says that there's flakes that have frost on them are great. They're
Without a
delicious.
doubt. Without a
I
doubt.
didn't know that all these random frosted flakes were delicious.
There's so many recipes of
You
frosted
mean all the
flakes.
different brands, the non-Kellogg ones?
I've had them all.
It's not. You don't just frost a flake. I mean, there's a lot that goes
You
into
usually
it.
don't go wrong frosting something.
It's true. It's true, T. That's a fact.
Frosting usually ends up pretty happy for everybody.
Dude,
Agreed.
somebody waited to
Very
come down the aisle. I was like in an aisle looking at something, and I didn't know. Like I have a list, and I don't know where half this stuff is, and I'm trial and error going down aisles. Some guy stared at the end of an aisle, and I was looking. I forget what I was looking for, but I couldn't find it, and now I'm under pressure. And there's a guy in a mask with a cart waiting to come down this aisle, and he's not going to come past me because of all the restrictions and social distancing. And I'm like, oh my god. I grabbed like pumpkin pie mix and like looked at it and kind of nodded my head like yes, yeah. In fact, this I found it. I like put it in my basket and reeled away embarrassed. And it wasn't pumpkin pie mix. To this day, Megan's like, why didn't you get this? I'm like, I couldn't find it. There's a guy in a mask. I was totally pressured. I just had to get out of there with some pumpkin pie mix. But thankfully, I didn't buy it at the very end. I bailed on the pumpkin pie mix.
I've gone in there with Freezy Freakies, dish gloves, anything to put on the hand.
I love it.
And it is tough in there. You got to stick and move, and you got to get the hell out of there. It's anxiety at its fullest. It's been fun, but it's no longer fun. We're good over here for about a week or so. My worry has been our man T-Bird, who's been on a what's the name of it? You've been on a good diet. You've been sticking to it.
Oh yeah, no, I'm kind of on one of those keto diets.
There you go.
No, man, it's been good. I eat eggs, I eat sausage every day, bacon pretty much all day long.
Wow.
You can't go wrong with it.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
It is incredible.
Eat a steak for dinner. Just no mashed potatoes, no like rice, nothing, nothing white. It's a pretty good rule, pretty much across the board.
Yeah. I'm on day 7 of lasagna for breakfast, so I appreciate what you're doing over there.
It's a
It would
testament.
still be delicious. Don't get me wrong. I would love lasagna for breakfast.
I know.
No, I've stuck to it. It's
You can
pretty
have
good.
it. You can
Not
do it.
bad.
I don't know why you.
Ken,
wouldn't
what's
want
your number
that.
one dietary staple these days?
I drink one Ensure every day. I like.
Come on, man.
All right, so true story. I'm
You drink
sitting in the
what?
basement. True story. I'm sitting in the basement. the Thursday night when the NBA canceled its season, and I don't know why. Shit got so real for me in that moment, and it was everything followed within like 24 hours. The whole world was shut down. But when the NBA canceled its season, I just looked. I was like, oh my god, like this is fucking for real. Like the NBA is canceling its season. So I went on Amazon and I bought like 5 cases of Inshore. I had had a couple whiskeys. I was maybe not thinking extremely clearly. They were meal replacement shakes. I now have 5 cases of Inshore. And so Megan was like, you know what? Let the punishment fit the crime. You must drink one of those every single day. Like her and I kind of agree that that was like the right thing to do. So I've drank one every single day. I've lost maybe 0.7 pounds, like legitimately, like kept it off. But the snacking is becoming. The snacking is the number one enemy now. Once again, I don't. There's not enough Ensure in the house to keep me from eating
My
Fritos.
best friend.
See, I worried about snacking on this diet, but I realized how much money I spent on the snacks and how much my kids eat, and so I've just let them have it. It's been a good like mind trick I played on myself. I have not snacked.
That's huge, Kevin.
Guess what I do snack on?
I assume that's the same for you.
Bacon
I've
beef
got-
jerky. Bags
I've
of
gotten to a
bacon.
level of snacking.
Great.
Dude. Yeah, well, I mean, I appreciate what's happening here, but bags of bacon. You're like,
Bags
I'm
of
not
bacon.
snacking. I'm just eating humongous amounts of bacon. All right. I'm going for
I mean,
the
really?
pleasure.
Who wouldn't want to do that?
I've eaten more Starburst jelly beans and Cadbury eggs for Easter than we're going to be in any basket. But pistachios have been saving me.
I like the way T's pitting coronavirus versus heart disease by just loading up on the bacon. This is gonna be a real battle between who wants it
the
more.
heart disease kicks in when you have sugar and carbohydrates with it.
Sure.
Your body burns it up real quick and fast when you just eat it alone.
Okay. I don't want any trouble here. I'm gonna eat all.
I got no sugar, man. I don't take sugar.
Yeah. I'm not arguing with you. I don't want to either. But what I did purchase is 4 different Kool-Aids to show the kids that how much granulated sugar goes in to each little tiny packet, so they knew. We've done a lot of these projects, but I also purchased Tang today, gentlemen. It's a real hit.
Tang. That's awesome.
Tang. Well, you know what?
Tang.
Like Ken said, there's only certain things left.
Yeah.
And, astronauts had it, so why can't my family?
If it's good enough for an astronaut, it should be good enough for you.
Just saying.
That brings me to my first. We're gonna do only one round of this draft. The first draft of the night, and that is things that you've bought during this quarantine that you haven't bought either ever or for years. And that qualifies. That would be a great example. Tang. And T, I'm gonna buy you some time.
Eric Anderson, I'm drinking vodka and Tang right this very second.
That's a fact. I
didn't mean to say Cadbury eggs. I meant to say Reese's eggs. I apologize. I just saw the Cadbury eggs are delicious, but Reese's eggs, they're going down like Pac-Man.
And not Tito's Stolian Tang, if I'm not mistaken. Was that a Stolian Tang?
It is Stolian Tang.
I knew it.
Exactly what it is.
I knew you changed it up. I knew you would. I just factored that in. Little Debbie Nutty Buddies, obviously very strong. Keegan.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I'll buy you some extra time, T. If there's anything new and fancy you have.
No. Well, I mean, I've already basically given it away. Is the Jack's Links bacon jerky? It's unbelievable.
How did you buy like a case of it?
I'd be buying bags of bacon and eating it. But I do have a confession to make. I have had 2 snacks, and it's good for this question. Twinkies.
By the way,
I've had 2 Twinkies.
You've had more. If we're just now getting to your admission that you've had 2 snacks in the next 15
no,
minutes.
I told you because I leave it off for my kids mostly and my wife.
There's some other snacks involved.
So I let them have
This is the culture.
too.
This is the culture.
Late at night with a coffee, watching a movie, I've stolen too.
I want Peter Pan peanut butter. Megan's made us a Jif
What's wrong
family.
with Peter Pan peanut butter?
It was what I grew up on, and since it's the one thing that I didn't, Jif became the family peanut butter at some point in time. and I've abided by it and respected that decision. I have nothing bad to say against Jif. But yesterday there was 2 jars of peanut butter in the entire store of Safeway at 12:45 in the morning while the Lightning Seeds were playing Pure on in between an In Excess and Bruce Springsteen set, which by the way kicked serious ass. And it was Peter Pan peanut butter. Peter Pan peanut butter. And I was like, you know what? Don't even tell me what the price is,
It was a
Bob
sign.
Barker. I'm just buying it.
It was a sign.
It was a sign. They had a lot of Kit Kats. A lot of Kit Kats, though. I lightened their load of Kit Kats just a little bit.
Yeah, well, Kit Kats is not a throwback. Kit Kats is a standard.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just tell you this. We bought so much food. We've never bought as much food as we bought for this house after we listened to the governor Hogan tell us what the deal was the other day. So I'm cleaning out the fridge. I was attacked by a militia of Mrs. Butterworth bottles that I did not know existed in my house. They had formed a union and they came at me. There was like 7 Mrs. Butterworth originals. And then I opened up the freezer and there was like a dozen empty Eggos. And I realized it was time to get more. If you can't have waffles with syrup on them in a pandemic, then you can't live.
Yeah.
Has been my point. That's the throwback old school. I haven't eaten these
Strathans are more of a pancake house, man. They're not waffle. Well, kids do waffles a little bit, but more pancakes.
I'm talking frozen here. I'm talking like, like my
Eggos.
9-year-old can get up and make breakfast for everybody. Knock yourself out, pal.
Yep. Peanut butter and syrup. Pancakes.
If I'm gonna make breakfast, I'm gonna make.
Did you say peanut butter and syrup?
Yes, I did. Waffles
together.
Waffles, French toast, and pancakes are all served with butter first, then peanut butter, a big glob of peanut butter on the side of the plate, and covered in Aunt Jemima syrup. Bam.
Why? I mean, I love peanut butter. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm. Oh, peanut butter and syrup with either of those 3 breakfast breads is amazing.
What's wrong with you?
I guarantee you, of all these gentlemen on the board tonight, there's no one that's going to suggest that peanut butter and syrup on French toast, pancakes, or waffles isn't something they've at least tried before. I'm not even talking like college experimentation. I'm talking about legitimately committed to for a
How
while.
would that ever come about? Why would anybody ever do that?
I love all those ingredients.
Yeah.
I do. I never once dreamed that you could just slap them together.
I
yell at my kids.
Yeah, I thought I was the odd one out here.
Oh,
okay.
The peanut butter jar goes on the table next to the Aunt Jemima when I make my French toast, my pancakes are legit. I don't do things. If I was as good of an employee for my company as I am at making French toast and pancakes, it would be a whole different story.
All right.
I'm scared to the backstory of how you mixed peanut butter and syrup together.
It's
about
insane.
to make French toast right now.
Throw that butter knife in the peanut butter jars. Come on with a big slab of it and just like smash it right across the side of the plate. And you just dip in the peanut butter, dip in the pancakes and French toast right across that peanut butter for each bite.
Look, I'll do anything with a waffle. I will. French toast stands alone. Pancakes, I'm one of those guys that, they're great, but you had them so many times. I'm more of a French toast guy. Weird, whatever.
Yep.
Never put anything like peanut butter on any of that. I'm a butter syrup, obvious.
What's your French toast bread of choice?
Man, I know I'm supposed to say the big, thick ones, but I use Italian bread.
Yeah. That's Italian. That's what I'm talking about. T, do you have a favorite bread for French toast?
Yeah.
Pretty much white.
Standard. That's like we could meme that.
It's original, right?
I wish if you were in the basement and we could meme your face and just saying pretty much white, it would be the most viral
other
meme.
than white, you're just getting fancy now.
Your
you
sweater
want
vest.
French? You want French toast?
I
that
like the
sounds fancy.
maple
that comes
brown
with
sugar bread
with the little cups of coffee, the really little ones.
Pretty much white. That's the number one answer. If there was,
I will put 2 scoops of ice cream and chocolate and caramel all over a waffle, and then put a waffle on top of it. and eat it like a ham and cheese.
It's all
Right
muscle,
now.
Keegan.
We'll do that next.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I know. That's what I'm saying. But I can't do what you're talking about with the peanut butter and tea. I don't know what happened there when you broke out.
The whole peanut butter and syrup thing is freaking me out, man.
Okay.
Me too.
I love both.
I recommend it,
Whew.
but it's bold. Maybe I didn't think it was as bold as it seems to be. AGH isn't liking it, so I'm gonna give him that. Keegan has an infatuation with some stuff, and he's got to work it out. He's got to talk to some people.
That's a whole nother show.
Keegan's stuck in his house. This is a nightmare scenario. I mean, we're talking like the scientists when they modeled this out. They were like, there's certain people who we just can't confine to four walls for a period of time over at least like 4 days. And Keegan is now over that range.
I read it wrong. I thought Keegan just wrote that as a statement, and then Greg Martin wrote Italian bread for French toast as an answer. I was confused.
I like the maple brown sugar, and the cinnamon swirl oatmeal bread.
One of the few cereals left, Ken, and tea, because you're going to know this too. Well, you can't. Tea can't. Cheerios has a maple Cheerio. And
It's delicious.
Like trying to give them away. It was like, have 5 of them for $4. So we got
Sounds delicious.
Delicious.
Maple Cheerio sounds awesome.
Yeah, I know. It was so delicious.
I've
never seen it before.
Maple's a top 5 flavor. I mean, maybe top 3. Maple. I put maple up against. I put maple over chocolate.
Maple bacon is unbelievable.
Now you go eat a big bag of shit, Ken. And I apologize for my language.
Chocolate flavor over maple flavor.
Unbelievable.
You can't put maple over chocolate.
I'm putting maple over chocolate. I don't know if I'm going to put vanilla, but I like vanilla.
You got a weird infatuation with maple syrup, brother.
Dude, I love maple. Have you guys ever gone sugaring up in Vermont? When they wired all the trees, collecting the sap, and then boil it up for maple flavored everything. Kevin, can I just interest you in one thing?
Tell me your entire body's been covered in maple syrup at least at one point in your life.
No, T, I'm gonna let that one just sit out there and marinate for a second.
Did I just get too personal?
I went to a sugar boil.
Sorry.
Is
sugar
that why
boil.
Your nickname is Sugar.
Well, for some people
like
it is.
Drama.
For some people it is. But we went to a boil up in Vermont right after sugaring season, and it's like this huge barn with like the vats that they were boiling. They were making literally fresh maple syrup right there. All the trees are wired to this one point. You could see it on the road. They had they called it sugar on ice, where they drench shaved ice with maple syrup, so like candies, like right on top of the ice. They had like funnel cakes, maple funnel cakes, but they also had maple hot dogs. So they had hot dogs and like a maple glaze, and these hot dogs, Kevin, I'm telling you because I know you would have like 10 of these hot dogs. They were delicious, delicious.
I can see that. Yeah. I can see that.
All right, thank you. Don't tell me hot dogs doesn't sell it.
Mustard. I like my salty and my sweet. I don't mix them. And I'm never going to mix a wiener with a maple. It's just not happening, bro.
Big mistake. Big mistake.
You never had maple bacon or maple sausage?
No. I hate
maple
getting
butter
syrup on my eggs.
Okay, so you're missing out. So you would never eat a McGriddle.
Oh, I've tried. I've tried all of it, man. I like everything. But I don't. My salt needs to be salty. My sweet needs to be sweet, and I've never combined them.
Wait, AGH, you have no maple? You've never tasted maple before? AGH in Wales? They might not have maple in Wales, or it might just be fake. He's saying he doesn't know about all these flavors. You got to know maple. And that's American, right? That's an American flavor at the end of the day, right? There's no maple comes from here. Canada, I guess, also.
The only thing I put maple syrup on that's strange is grape nuts.
Grape nuts?
What did you just say, man?
Can we roll out the pretty much white meme, everybody? I need a producer over here. Stat.
I put maple syrup on grape nuts.
Pretty much white.
And milk.
I don't know what grape nuts are.
Oh, dude. Oh God, there was like a commercial campaign like when we were in middle school. They were huge like commercials, and then they disappeared commercial wise. Is that cereal honestly still exist, T, or did you just buy like a million of it?
Yes, it still exists. It's at
Oh
the
my
top
God.
rack of the post.
I feel like it aired during the
Cereals.
Golden Girls and Cocoon. If you watch the movie Cocoon, you got Grape Nuts commercials.
Grape nuts are
Oh.
delicious,
Pretty much white.
especially with maple syrup on them.
All
Terry
right.
Solana Cocoon.
Yes, yes, yes. Grape Nut. I mean, you've given us two amazing ones tonight, T. Between Pretty Much White and Grape Nuts. I mean, I don't know.
No. Don't ever eat grape nuts. Anyone listening, don't ever eat
Don't
grape
eat-
nuts.
Don't
If you do, put syrup on them with your
put
milk.
syrup on them. And you can drink while you're drinking some Bartles and James out on the porch with tea.
Yeah. As you slather yourself in mayonnaise.
Whatever suits you. However your morning routine goes, so be it. Add grape nuts and syrup to it.
Morning routines are totally different these days. Oh,
They are totally
I don't
different
know
these
what that
days.
means, but
No, it's surreal. That's why I always like for on a Tuesday night for what 20 minutes now, another 30 minutes or
great.
so. We
great.
forgot
Sorry
about
to
it.
interrupt you, Ken, but my wife used to eat grape nuts.
I
Thanks.
know.
It's awesome. I live here. Shit.
Yeah, but
Please proceed, Ken. I'm sorry.
have grape nuts ever been in your cabinet since you guys got married?
No chance.
No chance. No chance.
I now know what they are. But no, I don't even like why.
Yeah. I mean, I
They're
think
delicious.
it's a testament to his fiscal responsibility, Aaron. That's why.
Good fiber.
Yeah. Well.
So that's what I said. It's make you take a poop cereal for old people. That's like
It forms your poop really well. Yeah. I mean,
That's
it's
It
got
delivers it.
great qualities
Like
to
that.
it.
That's what Irish coffee is for.
Why would anybody eat oatmeal? It's disgusting.
Oh, Irish coffee works so well.
Yeah.
I like oatmeal.
Ugh.
Maple and brown sugar, baby.
Maple and brown
Slop.
sugar again as a flavor combo. Sprinkle a little bit of brown sugar on top of the French toast when it's on the griddle, and it's perfect when you add that maple syrup on the backside. Come on.
I like that.
Caramelize that brown sugar on the griddle top. Stop.
Ugh.
All right,
Has
so
it turned into a food show?
it usually digresses into a food show, but I do have a sports question to ask you guys.
Who would eat more?
I'm gonna
Go ahead.
throw
I'm just kidding.
my weight
Go
behind.
ahead.
Okay, yeah, exactly. I think Benjamin has both of you covered. I don't know. Now that you don't eat sugar, I might have to bet on Rika. But my
What do you mean? I eat the shit out of sugar daily.
Yeah, I do too. Everything has sugar. Teas apparently. Like maybe tea when we go to Catholic next year. This'll be a one-man job. Is basically what you're saying. By the time.
Well,
we
I
finish with this.
appreciate the confidence that I'll keep the weight off by November. I really do. But I will look different the next time I'm in the basement, for sure. That's a promise.
All right. I look like, but still sweater vest, but not different like that. Like just
I threw them all out.
wow. All right. Well, let me ask you guys this.
Kevin made me.
No, he didn't.
I
make
didn't
you.
make you. I feel bad.
I would come back with an even stronger sweater vest game. I've been looking into them. There's actually some really good options out there if you wanted to turn down sweater vest lane.
And if you want to feel like a much maligned, creepy Midwestern Ohio State coach
Yeah.
with weird dark glasses, even though it's not sunny out, then just go right ahead.
I've never been able to pull it off, but T definitely pulls it off. And
Yeah, he did.
he did.
I kind of hated that he did.
I'm in a wheelchair. I can pull anything off. It's awesome.
I couldn't do it. I mean, Keegan
Dude,
knows.
I want you to cut
our
out
problems.
the left nipple portion of a T-shirt and just ride around your neighborhood tomorrow.
I already have one.
You did?
I do it all the time.
Sorry.
There's a neighborhood watch. That's why they started
One
forming
step
the
ahead of you.
neighborhood watch. All right, so the Nationals haven't yet lost a game. The Nationals are still the defending champions of the National League and the majors. So our team, so of all the times like where you could like take the next season off, I want to make the argument tonight as a DC our DC sports segment, the actual sports part of our segment, because damn it, T, we're not going to make this show about grape nuts for God's sake. The idea that we have benefited so immensely as an organization. The toll that winning a World Series takes on a baseball team, the toll that winning a championship in general takes on whatever team in the Major Four wins the championship, they automatically have a disadvantage because of how long they played into the previous season and potentially what cost they incurred, ultimately to get that title. The Washington Nationals incurred a cost for the World Series. We were taxed. We did something like the 11 straight wins. I mean, that we're about to watch for the 11 days starting tomorrow or the day after. Kevin, what day is it?
I'm sorry. I didn't know I was supposed to add stuff up, but it's almost April 1st from what I believe.
April 1st. Okay. So 11, we're going to get 11 wins on TV.
The 31st.
The break that the Washington Nationals have gotten as a team, in an organization, I think is an insanely large benefit for guys like Strasburg, who we just paid a gazillion dollars to. He's not being worked right away after being worked so hard in the postseason. Scherzer, who's an aging Cy Young candidate annually, he benefits from the time off. Patrick Corbin, who would be a number one on almost any team in the majors, gets the extra added time to continue to figure out how he fits in with Strasburg and Scherzer. And the additional time that hopefully a guy like our third base prospect, Carter, if he can make it happen, when do you get this opportunity as a defending champion? I mean, the defending champions, I think, get just gunned down in all the major four sports because it's so hard to win championships these days and you can't keep players, and guys play to have more miles on the odometer. And injuries become a lot more frequent because of that extra tread on the tire. So, I mean, guys, don't you think this is like kind of a crazy awesome deal for the Washington Nationals?
I do appreciate your positivity on this situation.
Really, you always find the positive in everything.
It's very true. Very, very true.
I'm just trying to find the positive.
These guys are geared up. They've set their off seasons towards a specific goal. And you know how finicky pitching stuff is, and when do you ramp up, and why would you play long toss for 30 minutes on Tuesday and then just throw a bullpen round on a Friday and take 2 days rest? I don't know what that shit means.
I know.
But I think they were geared up for a specific start, and now they have to gear down, and they have no idea. And now I think they pretty much got to shut it down and then deal with something that no one's ever dealt with before.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, can I just give you this to chew on? Imagine the major leagues are not coming back for the rest of April easily. Probably, most likely, in all, honesty here, baseball isn't even starting to talk about coming back until you get into June. So you're saying basically a half of a major league season is essentially nuked, and I don't think they want to play baseball into the winter. So this season is going to just look different, no matter how you shape it. It's different than a strike or a lockout, shortened labor.
It's going to be like a strike season. That's how it's going to feel.
That's how. That's the model they can go back to.
We'll just bring Joe Gibbs in.
Yeah, but so think about this.
It's going to be a shortened season.
It's going to be a shortened season.
I think that does play in the Nats' favor.
Yes,
I agree with you. But I also can't stand the fact that we treat professional athletes like they're porcelain.
How are we doing? How are we treating them that way?
We do.
In what regard? They're porcelain?
Yeah, they're fragile.
Did you just pretty much wipe this conversation with your porcelain comment? What are you talking about?
I mean, let's all get a little tougher, please. I mean,
What are you gonna?
seriously.
They can play. I don't know. Are you saying like make guys play through Corona without any fans? Okay.
Maybe the coronavirus and quarantine has toughened me up a little bit. I mean, come on.
Okay. So the game should start. You're saying that basically they
When
should
it's
start
time
playing
to
right
play,
now.
play. I don't care when the last time was you played, or if you played longer than everybody else. New season. Let's go.
So we're not. So T, should you let extra teams in the playoffs?
What's that?
Should you let extra teams in the playoffs for abbreviated baseball season? Essentially, 60% at best, is my opinion, for a major league season this year. Do you let extra teams in?
Absolutely.
You got to, right?
Why not?
You have to. It's gonna. It could be the most
Hadn't
fun
thought about it
postseasons.
much, but sure, why not?
I didn't either. I just heard that for the first time. Why not? 16 teams. Let's watch some ball. See who wins the tournament.
Keegan says no extra teams. I gotta believe Greg Martin says no extra teams because he's a Yankees guy. We shouldn't either. If we want to play the odds, Washington Nationals, we should assume we're probably going to be qualified for the postseason, and we don't want extra teams in there. But I think there's no reason why the Major League Baseball, and Players Union folks can't get together and say, listen, we got to make this a big deal.
Well, you got to maximize. You got to maximize as much as you can revenue wise for the regular season.
Yeah.
So
that's what they
plays
fucked
a
up the last
factor
time.
Because
sorry, excuse me, YouTube. Sorry.
How do you send people home early? Earlier in an already shortened season.
Hey man, everyone's adjusting to all this.
Yeah.
So why not?
The adjustment could be crazy, Kevin. I mean, for sports. So we
it already has been.
It already has been, and there's things that we can't get back, like March Madness. That's not getting redone.
Oh.
I know. I haven't. To be honest with you, I haven't dealt with that yet personally. I haven't dealt with the fact that there's
no chance.
Haven't dealt with it. The final would be next Monday night, if I'm not mistaken, April 6th. So we're right in the middle of when March Madness would otherwise be. I haven't dealt with that. But the manner in which the postseason for baseball and hockey. So I think the real kicker here is whether or not they rev back up the NHL. I don't know that they will or won't. To be honest with you, I don't know anything. If there's rumors out there, share them with me. If James Rainey's on there, I don't know what the rumor is about NHL. These guys were right on the cusp of that playoff stretch, to qualify, and playing pretty much everyone was trying to peak pretty much right around now, right? Heading into the postseason. If they rev it back up, that could be just a crazy fun time for Caps fans, because if you're going to roll the dice on a roster, why ours is as good as any to catch fire and be a champion again. That would be incredible.
As a city, we've come together and thrived in strike-shortened seasons multiple times. We got this, and I agree, no chance. Baseball and hockey, as we all watch, it's excruciating. The time in between plays, goals, runs, it'll rip your guts out. Give us something.
So people on the board are informing us. Greg Martin is informing us, and AGH also, who's a hockey guy, saying that essentially they're saying that the regular season is done. They won't play any more regular season games, and they would just do a postseason tournament. I wonder.
Sure.
I think it's in most jeopardy, though. I think it's in most jeopardy of just being canceled.
Yeah, of all the big deals.
How far into summer do you go?
I don't know. Well, the NHL playoffs are really not starting until after March Madness, anyways. So, when the Caps won the Stanley Cup, that was almost June, right? That was late.
Yeah. That was a fun conversation, but I have no hopes for the NBA or the NHL. I don't, personally.
I don't either.
I can't imagine.
I think they're all completely cooked. But the one glimmer to me as a sports fan would be the players saying, coming back from this. So we're just beginning this, and that's the other thing about tonight that I've been happy to forget for the last couple hours is, we're just getting started, right? We got another 8 weeks of this, probably, almost certainly, and and I and the, but like all those players and all those teams all over the world that have, that's what they do. When we come out of this, they're coming out of it too, and so I don't know how it would look, and maybe from a league perspective, there's thoughts, that say, why would we do this? It doesn't make any sense. We're past. We just need to focus on next year. I get it, but some part of me thinks that a player-driven interest in captivating fans that have had nothing positive to cheer for will be the impetus for things like an NBA tournament potentially, or an NHL tournament, or this idea that Major League Baseball could figure out something like super fun. Because we're gonna lose the All Star game. We talk about home run derby already. We're losing the home run derby. We're losing all that stuff. I mean, we're already losing all that stuff for the most part, right? I mean, it's gone. So something has to come back in its place, and I think it's the Alexander Ovechkins of the world, and the Max Scherzers, and these dynamic, world famous, high character guys who are at the top of their sport and happen to be in our hometown, and become the faces of whatever that is, and that's my aspiration, if we want to be aspirational these days.
Hello?
You here? You there? T, you there?
There was a little glitch, but we're all back.
We're all back? Okay. Greg Martin says the headline for MLB is they'll wait until the ban on mass gathering is lifted to start the season. Ah, God, I don't know when that's going to be. I don't know when that's going to be. By the way, that's the key, right?
Nobody does.
Yeah. If they don't ban mass gatherings, by midsummer, that's why the NFL season's in jeopardy. But we don't have to talk about that because that's not being decided right now. The cool thing for NFL fans and for us Redskins fans is the draft coming up, and we destroyed the idea of what the Redskins should do in the draft. I wanted to ask you guys, and maybe T, I'll let you lead off since we didn't have a chance to talk to you about the draft. Is how are we going to party for this draft? Because the NFL is doing its draft. So in this age of quarantine and stay-at-homeness that we are in, the NFL meets Vegas draft is done. That's not happening. But our experience of the draft can still be great. And so I want to get the ball rolling right now, and I know, Kevin, you support this, in making the NFL draft as fun as it could possibly be, following all the rules, whatever the rules are. So I want to, everyone who's on the board tonight, you're on this committee, we are going to figure out a way to make the NFL draft the highlight of our sports experience in this quarantine. And T, you're in charge.
For our own personal experience.
No, well, yeah, but our own personal hours, like us together. Me, you, Kevin, all these guys on the board. We're gonna put
assuming we're still in quarantine while this is happening. We gotta figure out how we can get ourselves on Zoom on camera.
That's true.
Listen,
have our own war room.
If I was on Zoom on camera right now, it would be Tiger King-esque. That's a fact.
Hey, man.
My outfit is luxurious.
I want to show off my svelte body.
All right. Well, then I think we could start up a website for you.
Yeah, that's $1 million idea. This, by the way, T, this is the perfect time for this business change for you. I mean, this is great. You have a captive audience. People have literally nowhere else to go but wherever you send them pictures of your svelte body.
Let's Zoom it, babe. Let's Zoom it.
Zoom, yeah, everyone's doing Zoom.
Zoom the crap out of it. But I just have to take this time to say, poor Joe Burrow. He gets drafted first, and he's either Joe Exotic or the Tiger King for at least 3 or 4 years, right? I mean, it's been all over Twitter.
Yeah.
I mean, they got to call him that in the papers and on the Twitters and on the. He's been an LSU Tiger. His name is Joe. He's crushed, man.
So I'm only on episode 1, admittedly, but Tiger King is the runaway quarantine hit, right? I mean, that's what everyone. You can't. There's between that and the gay porn star, guy who's in every single thing that's going around on the internet right now and on social media. It's Joe Exotic.
Yeah, I'm pretty good with Tiger King.
Tiger King and
Tiger
Wood.
King was it was
it's horrible and amazing.
you just couldn't stop watching. You just couldn't.
It's unbelievable. I'm just on the front side, so I get the whole ride to go. So I know Kevin's jealous because he mainlined it in one day, right? You went all 7 episodes in one day.
24 hours.
Yeah. Okay.
We
24
started
hours.
late in the afternoon and we finished before that time the next day.
Okay.
It was disgusting. It was rainy. I don't feel the need to defend myself anymore.
No.
Yeah.
Time well spent, my friend.
Yes.
Time well spent.
It was 14 trains crashing, not just one train crash. I could not stop. Oh God. Oh.
It just captured
Perfect timing.
the
They
interest of
released that
everyone.
on March 20th at Netflix. I mean, seriously, sometimes you just win. Timing is everything.
And I've got 3 episodes of Ozarks left to go.
And there's a new season of that out,
Ozark
right? Or
is
is that the one you're talking about? The new season.
It's unbelievable. The new season, yes.
And they're moving up the Michael Jordan documentary, which of all the
Yes.
sports programming,
That's awesome too.
I think
Yeah.
that's probably
Yeah.
one that because I don't know how you guys feel. I mean, the 30 for 30s, I always end up watching, and they're always awesome, and stuff like that's great. But there's just so much. We're just inundated with people talking about sports from their basements, and it's just like at some point you're like, how much of this can I actually love?
Sorry, no one's listening anymore. We're good. It's just us three.
Yeah, it's just us 3. So, but the Jordan thing, man, I'm kind of thinking that's gonna be like family must see TV. Everyone sits down and watches that together. I think, right?
Without a doubt. When I showed my 9-year-old son Michael Jordan highlights, it was the 50 best plays of Michael Jordan. He was like, "This is Dad." I was like, "No." I tried to tell you, but there's no way. There's no words for it. Similar to Tiger King or Ozarks. There's no words for it.
Right.
You got to see it, man. You got to see it. You got to feel it and be like, but to tell him, like, this was Game 7 in Cleveland. Craig Elo was doing the best job you possibly could. There's just no way to stop him. Splash. Over. We're going to get all of that directly, generationally. When people are talking about LeBron and Jordan, this is going to be a whole new perspective. People are going to freak out.
Oh yeah,
because he's ridiculous.
it's great. I'm looking forward to that, and I know that we'll all be talking about it, and it'll be. I mean, it's Jordan. It's Jordan, and he was ours for a hot second. That of all the DC sports memories, I was there when he dropped 53 or 55 on the Charlotte Hornets as a Wizard, and it was amazing. But man, the day he left was just a surreal day in DC sports. You know, like what he had his AMG Mercedes convertible, and he came driving out of what was, I believe, the MCI Center at the time. Is that true? Out of the ramp onto onto F Street.
Oh yeah, but hold on, you skipped over when he said, "I'm back." We were like, "What? Here?"
Oh, when
really?
he came. That's right. Well, I mean, everything was great. Having him on our team was like the coolest thing ever. But when Abe Poland, I mean, pulled the, tablecloth out from underneath him on that, and like he wasn't a good front office guy. I mean, that's a fact. I mean, Kwame Brown, unfortunately, Kwame Brown, and that maybe that's on maybe that's Kwame Brown's fault in some small part, but. He also bet a big deal on Jerry Stackhouse and him doing way more than they could do. And when he drove out of town that day, man, that was, I don't know. I don't know how you guys felt, but to me that was like a shot to the nads.
Well, I mean, we all knew it was coming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was more like a let's move on. It's done. Let's go.
Rip Hamilton said I would beat him in a 3-point shot competition. We'd shoot 50, I'd win like 13 grand. He'd say double or nothing. The whole team would be on the bus waiting for us two to finish because he wouldn't let me leave until he broke even on double or nothing because he couldn't lose. I mean, he was a crazy maniac who they put in charge. He has no chance.
Yep.
He has no chance. You can't be that good as a baller and that good as a coach. It just really doesn't happen. What's the best example of that in any sport? The best player who became the best coach.
Right now, it's between Steve Kerr and Jason Kidd.
Steve Kerr.
Sure. Well, I think Jason Kidd has a better career. I think that Kerr is the better coach, and Kidd's an assistant now. But
Ron Rivera is a candidate.
You can go back. Bill Russell was a player coach for the last 2 titles. That would be the starting point of this conversation, and then we would move forward. And I can't imagine we'd ever get to that level ever again. But I guess there might be a couple baseball guys. I don't know. I mean,
Davey.
I don't know. Davey Johnson wasn't a stud.
No.
Ted Williams managed our Washington Senators, and they finished like
Pete Rose
poorly a lot. But
you can go old school. You can go Lombardi and Landry.
Greg Martin said Pete Rose.
Yeah, Pete Rose is absolute. Man, put him in the damn Hall of Fame and stop messing around with all this ridiculous crap.
I know. I want Pete Rose. And you know what? F Barry Bonds, whatever. If he belongs there, I don't know. I don't care. But Pete Rose should go in before Barry Bonds.
Man,
that I can agree with. The fact that he is so indignant in what he did, what all these guys did with performance-enhancing drugs is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
But
AGA's just thinking that this Jordan documentary might not be so, but we know he was up to some shadiness. In fact, Michael Jordan was the asshole. He was.
Oh yeah, and he controlled the media too.
Yeah, he was before the media existed.
Yeah,
he was in charge
because there was no social media.
Well, but they wouldn't want to go against him.
We didn't have phones or cameras on our phone. He did whatever he wanted.
But they knew they could have written it, and everyone would have eaten it up. But they knew that if you want access to Jordan, you can't talk about the him banging chicks and gambling and all the other stuff that he was doing and getting mixed up in. Like they all knew it. Like right now, if anyone knew anything, it would be someone would pay enough money to put it in print, and the press kept Jordan's
rap
secret.
about it and then put it out as a meme forever.
Like imagine that. Like Jordan did all the things that athletes do that we all think is stupid and disgusting at times and dumb and terrible and not high character stuff. And he did all that stuff, and those guys didn't say a effing word, and they knew it. All of them, all the people who covered him, in a major media market in Chicago, and not like the Stone Ages. We're talking about like the 80s and 90s when people ate that stuff up. All those beat reporters, and you know what? They all got famous. Some of the biggest names in sports journalism came from Jordan's era of Chicago, and there's no secret why. Because Jordan was that powerful, and he continues to be that powerful. He's a freaking billionaire owner of a team. Like that's nuts. Like that doesn't happen to anybody. Just saying. Jeter.
I appreciate your passion at this hour.
Greg Martin has to throw out the Jeter reference. I don't totally disagree.
No, don't compare Jeter to MJ.
Oh no, talent-wise, not even the same ballpark. But Jeter has rings. He was the best player on the most watched team, and he became. He's not technically an owner though, right? He's just a front office. He's just a general manager. I don't think he's the owner. Being an owner,
yeah, he's financially invested.
He's financially invested. Okay, I mean, being an owner in professional in the major four, baseball and football specifically, is a sick deal. That's like power. That's like old school. Like you ran the railroads or or oil, or whatever, the electric company. Like if you're a major league owner in the NFL, I mean, you've made it. You're like you're gonna be okay. You're probably not sweating this
Yeah, well,
coronavirus thing out.
when you're Derek Jeter, look, man, Derek Jeter made me not hate the Yankees because I just always did. But I was like, God, it's really hard to hate this guy. It is. It's tough. He shows up every day. He's gritty. He does all the knickknacks. He didn't want to be the star. He wanted to play every day. He was like Cal Ripken.
Yeah.
I mean, they're the most two comparable guys at that position. I'm a Cal guy, but that can be debated, and I can understand why people would think I was wrong. They are the class
Yeah.
of the position of our era. So, before us and after us, whatever. But man, those two guys are right there, front and center.
I mean,
Their numbers are
shortstops.
sick.
That's where it begins and ends for me, personally. But I don't think that's the era we live in anymore. When we grew up, if you were a power hitting shortstop, you were set apart from the field.
Unicorn.
Yeah, yeah. And
That's why A-Rod let him take his spot at the All-Star game, because he said if it wasn't for Cal Ripken, they'd have put me at third or first. Like, it was okay at that point to be that big if you were that athletic. And that was pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
I'm not an A-Rod guy. Don't want to see him on the presidential coronavirus statements. Don't care. Do like J-Lo. But Cal Ripken is my favorite.
is A-Rod gonna ever be likable?
I don't think so.
But
man.
he's not disliked.
I think
Yeah,
he's
I-
disliked.
A-Rod is. I'm sorry. A-Rod. I thought you were still talking about Jeter.
No, Jeter's lovable.
He's been forgiven-ish, but no one's ever going to love him.
I mean,
Never.
is he just gonna?
No.
Is it? And also, is it because his like steadfast dedication to never admitting that he's ever done anything that we should hate him for? When all of us are like, you know why we hate you, right? You know why we hate you, right? But you like, come on, you know why we hate you. And he's like, I don't know. I have no idea what you're talking about. I have none. Like, I don't. This is coming out of left field, and I never played left field. I think he's. I don't think he's ever gonna be likable for that. I mean, he's just. I can't.
He'll never be lovable.
I mean, marrying J Lo is probably the only thing that even makes me remotely look at him a second time and be like, oh, really? J Lo, huh? Like the hottest 50-year-old in the history of 50-year-old women, probably. And that's a huge. I don't know. His resume is so razor thin that stands out.
All right, we all know it. He's a dick.
Yeah. Yeah.
No matter what, he's a dick. I get it.
It makes me think worse of her. I like J Lo
Yeah, but
less.
she's batshit crazy, and I'm a fan. But
Greg says she's less likable than A-Rod. I didn't know that about her. I'm not from the block, so I don't know. I did not know that personally, but I believe it.
I think she's all right. I mean, Living Color she was a great dancer.
Maybe she's a bigger dick. I don't know.
Wait, T.
Ooh.
Mariah Carey or J Lo?
J-Lo.
Kevin?
J-Lo.
Oh, you're both so wrong. It's Mariah Carey all day. How do you guys miss that one? That was a layup. Oh, the board is really, really giving you guys a hard time. I just lobbed that down Main Street, and you just.
I think Mariah
What
Carey
is
is my
crazy?
craziest.
She cray. She cray. No,
It's Mariah Carey.
I don't need that.
Everyone on the board so far unanimous for MC over J Lo.
Yeah.
Now I'm really starting to doubt your Chase Young love because of that, and that's
Look,
coloring the
man,
whole thing.
Like, Mariah Carey is bonkers. I think J-Lo is like driven and like, whatever. Mariah Carey scares the ever living shit out of me. She'd be like, "Let's go to the store," and then he could like be in a Jeep falling off a cliff onto Malibu Beach. Like, oh God. I don't know why I'd be in that position. I don't know why I would be there, but don't want to.
All right, I'm gonna let you guys out on
Yeah,
a
that's
top
probably a good idea.
a top recurring segment I want to do every time we get together, the three of us. In the last week, since the last time we talked, what show or movie have you watched with your kids or your wife or just watched by yourself that you haven't seen in forever, years, at least 10 years, at least a 10-year minimum of something that you're like, you know what, I haven't seen this for a while, and you just ride it to the end. And I'm gonna get you started.
It just happened right before I came on the show.
It just happened right before we came on the show. Okay, then I'm gonna let you go first.
Okay, it just finished right before we came on.
What do you got?
Stand By Me.
There you go. Ah, it's a great movie, and you're right. I don't think I've watched that in 10 years myself. What's your favorite character in that movie?
Oh man, that's hard. I don't know.
Nothing like a smoke after a meal.
That's a goocher. That's where I caught it, right at the goocher spot.
Eric Anderson.
Jerry, what's his last name?
Binged Band of Brothers. I don't think I've seen Band of Brothers in 10 years. Greg Martin says Spaceballs.
Yeah, Gordy. You got LaChance.
So we did watch Spaceballs.
Mm-hmm.
Kids loved it. I told you guys that. But
yeah,
this has all started. I'm not sure I'm proud of my answer, but it's true. It's honest. And it was more entertaining than I thought.
Okay.
We put on, with the kids, Pee-wee's Playhouse. I know. Have at
the
it.
show?
Have at it, but
the Saturday morning show?
We put the show on YouTube. And, man.
Like old reruns of the show? It's actually kind of entertaining. I could see it.
It was. It flew around. There was questions. There was, like, noise. But they were like, what the hell is this? It's nuts.
The word of the day.
Wacko. The word of the day was great.
Eric's autocorrect is not working for him.
His name was Terry. Randy was the redheaded bully. Sorry, I'm done.
Eric just.
Will Wheaton brings his dong to your facility.
Yeah, his keyboard is like. Every time Eric touches the letter D.
If you're counting, it's 2 dongs and a dog that Will Wheaton brings to the facility.
His keyboard is always like, you've typed the letter D. May I suggest dong? Because that's 9 times out of 10, that's the word you're looking for. WrestleMania 14. I actually believe that, Greg. Going back and watching old WrestleManias, I think Blues Brothers is probably my answer off the top of my head, because I know I for whatever, it was the middle of the night one night, and I wrote Blues Brothers from beginning to end. That's just so great. And it makes me want to watch. Between now and the next time we talk, I want my answer to be Spies Like Us, because my son and I are going to watch that tomorrow, and I can't wait for it.
I've had a weird feeling I wanted to watch that movie as well.
Have you?
I'll do it.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
It'll be like a book club. We can all get together and talk on Zoom.
This week's movie is Spies Like Us, in addition to all the 25 other movies.
When no one can dance like you. So what a great jam. Ain't nobody can spy. It's time, Ken. I did it. I'm sorry.
We did it.
When they're cheating and he pulls the tape out of his mouth.
Oh, it's the greatest.
I'm in my bed.
The training when they're going through the training, they're just, they just drop them. I mean, it's amazing. Everything about I love it so much. And that I don't think he's ready for Stripes yet. I don't think everyone's ready for Stripes, but that's.
I've thought about it so many times.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Spies Like Us though is happening, and we're doctors. Doctor. I mean, doctor. People don't even realize that that's from Spies Like Us, but there's so much from Spies Like Us. Yes, AGH, watch Spies Like Us. That's your assignment. We don't give a lot of homework on this show, but I heard a rumor that all of you
haven't seen Spies Like Us, you've got to see it.
Yeah, man. Well, let's do it tomorrow. And now let's gather and discuss.
All right, maybe we'll have a Spies Like Us post-watch discussion. AGH, you're going to get it. Spies Like Us. When you watch it, you'll understand what we're talking about. I want to say a special thank you to all of our good friends joining us tonight in the conversation. Thanks, guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed your Tuesday night and helping me celebrate Tuesday the way that it was always meant to be celebrated. A very under-celebrated day of the week. and we're drawing a lot of awareness and attention to this issue. We've been doing it for 5 years. Tim Strachan has been the head of the spear on this one. Tim Strachan, thank you, sir.
What have I been the head of?
Well, the pretty much white committee and
The whiteness of our show.
the pretty much
That's
white
awesome.
committee and the Grape
Great.
Nuts. You've been in charge of the Grape Nuts budget.
That's awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that kind of comment.
He's Kevin
It's
Ricca.
very nice of you.
You're only in charge of white bread, mayonnaise, and grape nuts. That's it. That's all.
It's so weird. Okay.
You're the one who said pretty much white and then launched into a Grape Nuts saga that basement podcasts have never seen before. It's amazing. Kevin Ricca, you're also,
Hey,
as the
man.
director of Good Times, we
Hey.
appreciate your dedication to your duties.
To be fair, I just got to say how much I enjoy hanging out with everyone that we got to hang out with tonight. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Ken, T. Thank the board, man. This is fun as hell, and I look forward to it all week. Never disappoints. Be good till next week, fellas, and hope you guys are all happy and healthy and your families are doing the same.
On behalf of First Amendment Sports, I'm Ken Marangolo, and this was the DC Mess Around. Still alive, guys. Still alive. I won't say anything bad.
We never brought up the Family Feud. We never brought up the Family Feud showdown, Kev.
Well, I wasn't